In today's video, we're going to take a look at the Tempest Weather Station. I'm going to show you what's in the box, what type of mount I used for it, where I mounted it, you can probably tell by the thumbnail, how to integrate it into Home Assistant, and how to design an amazing weather dashboard. So let's get to it. Hi, and welcome. I'm Jeff with Fast How To. Well, for now, I'm looking for a better name for the channel. Several of you have submitted some pretty creative ideas already, many of which I liked, but none of them so far have made me yell, "That's it!" If you've got any ideas, let me know in the comments. If I end up using your idea, I'll send you some cool smart home gear, as long as you're in the continental US. Shipping costs, export restrictions, yada, yada, yada. Let's start with the basics. Why would anyone even want a personal weather station? Well, there are lots of things you can do if you have accurate, real-time weather data, such as send a notification or play a TTS announcement if it begins raining but there's windows open in the house. Or you could also configure an automation so that if someone tries to adjust the air conditioner to cool the house, but the outside temp is cooler than the inside, you can turn off the air conditioner and play a TTS announcement telling them to open a window instead. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, bah, the online weather conditions are good enough for that. Well, I'm here to tell you that they are in fact not good enough. I live only about 2 miles from the nearest legit weather station, which is at an airport. The other day, the online weather sources said it was raining at my house, but it wasn't. In fact, it didn't rain at all that whole day. Take that, weatherman! In addition, having accurate, real-time temperature readings can be very helpful as well. For example, in my lost power automation from a previous video, I was shutting off the water main if the power went out and stayed out for long enough that my UPS was about to die. The logic there was that since without electricity, my furnace wouldn't run, and I didn't want the pipes to freeze. It only took one power outage during the day in the summer for me to realize what a shitty plan that was. I had to go downstairs to the basement, take the Titan off the pipe, turn the water back on so that we could wash our hands and flush the toilets and do all the normal things that we take for granted in a house in the 21st century. Now, I can query the outside temp as well as the upcoming forecast, and if there's going to be an extended period of freezing temperatures, then I can shut off the water main. Unfortunately, I'm still working on the automations for a lot of this stuff. There's a lot of data. But rest assured that when I get the automations all nailed down, I'll create a separate video all about those. Another great use case for this thing is if you don't live anywhere near an actual weather station that you can get reliable environmental information from, you can use one of these. I've got several friends who live way out in the middle of nowhere in Montana, in Wyoming, in South Dakota. I'm talking it's a good hour's drive during good weather to the nearest town that's only a couple hundred people in size. Or maybe you're like a few of my other friends who happen to have chosen careers much more lucrative than I did, and you've got a vacation house or a cabin or whatnot. You can put one of these there and access the information remotely using Tempest's cloud integration. Imagine opening up Home Assistant and being able to see real-time weather information for your lake house and being able to get an accurate forecast for that location. Or if you're like a certain friend of mine that's a real big lawn care nerd, you can keep an eye on how much rain your lake house has been getting and use that information to control the sprinkler system. That way, you can still have the best lawn on the block even when you're not there to take care of it. By the way, the forecast information for this, Tempest guarantees it to be the most accurate forecast you've seen, or they'll give you your money back for up to the first 8 months of use. Anyway, maybe you're just a weather nerd. It's not like anybody needs a reason to have something cool, am I right? If any of this stuff is something that you're interested in, the Tempest here currently goes for $339 on Amazon, and the mount that I'm using is also available on Amazon for $40. You can check the description for links. Let's get this stuff out of the boxes and see what we got. All right, here we go. So I ordered the Tempest Weather System and the Tempest Universal Mount. We'll take a look at the mount first. Here's what's included in the mount box. We get all the necessary hardware and bracket that mounts on the house or garage, and then a pole that mounts in here like this. So this is what I'm going to be using. You can also use the flat mount if you want to mount this on top of a fence post, for example, or something like that. And then here's the Tempest Weather System, the sensor. And we get a quick start guide. So it includes the Tempest sensor device, the Wi-Fi hub, a pole mount, a flat plate mount, and the power supply. And then there's a QR code to download the app, some instructions. All right, so let's start with the hub. Okay. Couple screw holes on the back for wall mounting it. And the power supply, just USB-C looks like. And then let's take a look at the actual sensor. Oh, nice looking foam packaging, got the Tempest logo in there. And here's the unit itself. Got 4 solar panel cells on it. And here's the flat mount and the pole mount, which I will be using. Okay, I'm gonna go mount this up on the garage, so I'll be right back. All right, now that I've got the thing mounted, powered on, and added to my network, which was super simple using the Tempest app. Trust me, nobody's gonna have a problem there. Let's head over to the desk and get it added to Home Assistant. All right, so the first thing you're going to need to do is sign into your Tempest account on your computer and go to your device. We need to create a data authorization token to allow Home Assistant to access the cloud service. You're going to need this for forecast information as well as for a handful of the other sensors that I've chosen to leverage. I know, it's a cloud, right? Don't worry, we're going to get most of the stuff from the local integration. But some of the stuff we're going to need from the cloud integration, like forecast and some other stuff, it's not critical, but I wanted to be able to see it. And so if the internet's down, since it's not critical, once you got the token, grab the station ID, you're going to need that as well. Then we'll head on over to Hacks and install the weather flow forecast and the sensor integration. You can see that I've already got the weather flow integration configured, and the device was auto-discovered by Home Assistant. Super easy. Anyhow, enter your station ID and the API token that you got from the website, crank up the number of hours in the forecast, check the box to add the sensors, and hit submit. Done. All right, so there's a whole bunch of other stuff that we're going to need from Hacks for the dashboard in order to get this all set up. So we'll head on over to Hacks and we'll take a look and go to front end. And we are going to need the vertical stacking card, the paper buttons row, Apex charts card, the weather radar card, the wind rows card, the compass card, and the config template card. So once you've got all of those downloaded and set up and you refresh your browser and do all that. So on the main page of my dashboard, you can see that I'm using mushroom cards. I've got a chip here that tells me the current conditions and the current temperature. So let's take a look at that. And this is the code for that. So it's a mushroom chip card. The type is weather. The entity is weather.forecast_home, which is the forecast from the cloud integration. I'm going to show the current condition, current temperature, and most importantly, tap action is navigate, and we're going to navigate to the weather view. So let's go take a look at that. Here we go. This is my weather page. So up in the top corner here, obviously we've got a back button. Need to have that for navigation. But we've got the current temperature, feels like temperature, the humidity, barometric pressure, whether it's rising, falling, or steady. And then we've got a compass card with the wind speed in here. And you'll see that the little indicator changes direction based on where the wind's coming from. Next up, we've got a forecast card, just 5 days out. And you can click on that and get additional information if you like. Next is the barometric pressure card. So this is the current pressure, and the little arrow, also, of course, with the trend over here, indicates that it's falling. We've got the previous 24 hours historical information, as well as 24 hours of forecasted information. On the left is wind. We've got a wind rose card here, along with the Beaufort, which is the little windsock deal, right? So this tells us the wind speed. Right now, the scale is 0 to 8 miles an hour. It tells you, how much of the time you've seen that amount of wind. And then here's some historical wind information. So the white line is the direction of the wind. The green are the gust speeds, and the blue is the actual wind speed. And you can mouse over stuff down here to see just that. And if you'd rather remove stuff from the map, like you can remove direction, just click on it, remove the gusts, click on that. Or if you'd like to just see the gusts, you remove speed. So that's always super nice as well. And then the same down here, we've got forecast. Of course, this is hour by hour, so it's not quite as granular as this is, but it gives you a pretty good idea what the next 24 hours are going to look like. Next up, we've got a bunch of temperature and humidity information. So we've got air temp, the wet bulb temp, dew point, and the humidity. And so that's all on this graph here. And mouse over any of this, you can see it'll show you all 4 values for whatever point in time you choose to look at historically. And then for the next 24 hours, we've got temperature and humidity forecast. And the same there. You can click on either one of these to remove the other, or just mouse over it if you just want to temporarily see only the one. Here we've got a weather radar card. You can zoom in and out, move it all around, do whatever you like with that. Over here, we've got a lightning card. There's been no lightning in the last 24 hours, which is good news, right? So last lightning was 1 day ago, and we've had no rain, no rain today anyway. Yesterday, we had 11 hundredths of an inch, and that's what's being displayed over here. And then this will also tell me the intensity that it's raining at, but since there's been no rain, no intensity, right? And here's the rain forecast. So the white line is the forecasted amount of precipitation, and the purple is the probability that it's going to rain. And again, you can mouse over any of this to see that. So how did I set all of this up? All right, let's take a look. All right, so we'll start with this card up here in the top left corner. And of course, the code is off the screen a little, so let me drag over a notepad that I have that's got the code in it. So this is all of the code for that card. It begins here, so you guys can pause the video, type all this in if you want, or swing by my Patreon page and just download this text file. But that card starts here and goes all the way down to here. All right, next up is going to be our 5-day forecast. And so this is just the, it's just a weather forecast card, and the entity is the weather forecast _home, which is the forecast that we get from Tempest. Show the daily forecast. We don't need current conditions. And next up, we're going to look at the barometric pressure card. But before we get there, this one's got hourly forecast information in it. So I'm going to need to show you how I did that. So we'll head over to Studio Code and we'll take a look at our configuration file. And here is how I did that. So I created a template sensor, and the sensor is called weather_hourly. And what it's doing is it is calling get forecasts on the weather forecast from Tempest. And then it's taking that hourly information out of that forecast and it is storing it in this weather hourly sensor. So if we head over and we take a look at weather forecast home, you can see that this is all we get. There's no hourly information in there. So how are we doing that? So this is the hourly forecast. And this is what we get back from that. So we get 96 hours, since that's what I set that to. So 96 hours of condition, date, time, precipitation probability, wind bearing, UV index, temperature, all that fun stuff. So that's what we're using to build this card over here. So let's take a look at that. And once again, this is off the side. So I will bring over a text file so that you guys can see that. So the barometric pressure card starts here. And I'll scroll down so that you guys can type this in at home if you don't want to go and download it. And this is the last line for the barometric pressure card. Next up, we've got our wind data card, which is this one here on the left. And so once again, quite a bit of code for this one, right? We've got 225 lines of code. So we'll bring over Notepad. And this is where the wind card starts here. And you guys can go ahead and pause this, type it all in again, or you can go and download it from my Patreon site. And this is the end of the wind card here. Next up, we'll take a look at this card here, the temperature and humidity card. And once again, scrolls off the side, so I'll bring this over. So temperature and humidity card starts here. And this is the end of the temperature and humidity card. Next up, we'll take a look at the lightning card. And again, off the side, so we'll bring over Notepad, show you guys the code. So this is where the lightning card starts. And this is the end of the lightning card. Next is this precipitation card over here on the right. And once again, too much code. So this is the beginning of the precipitation card. And this is the end of the precipitation card. And lastly, we've got the weather radar card. And this is all the information that you need for that. There you are. An awesome dashboard showing you all sorts of weather information. Now, according to YouTube, only 1 in 10 people that watch my videos are subscribed to the channel. What's up with that? If you like what I'm doing here, give that subscribe button a whack and ring a little bell to turn on notifications so that you know as soon as I publish a new video. In the hopper right now are a Roborock review and integration video, as well as how to create buttons to tell the vacuum to go and clean a specific room in the house, a video all about how to set up a Bond RF blaster to control stuff like ceiling fans, lights, and shades, a Z-Wave mousetrap, and a review of my Ubiquity home network, as well as lots of other cool stuff that you don't want to miss out on. If you'd like to help support the channel, swing by my Patreon page. There's a link in the description, or you can scan this QR code right here. Patrons get access to all sorts of exclusive benefits, such as downloadable code for all the stuff I show on the channel. Today's dashboard code was pretty lengthy. Early access to advertisement-free videos, free t-shirts, periodic copies of my dashboard, automation, and configuration YAML files, Discord access, free t-shirts, members-only giveaways, and much, much more. Benefits are available starting at just $3 per month. Or, if you just want to say thank you, you can always send a super thanks. To everyone who helps support the channel, thank you. You guys rock. A couple of minor updates to some previous videos. The Bluetooth proxy video, I originally used and made a video about the M5 stack ESP32 devices. Turns out they're every bit as shitty as the internet said they were, so I picked up a 3-pack of some generic ESP32 controllers from Amazon. They're like $17 for 3 or something. There's a link in the description. I'll be giving away the M5 stack devices on my Patreon page in case anyone wants a device to learn on or thinks they can make use of them somehow. They just kept disconnecting. The Rat GDO video. I've been using that thing for about 3 months now, and it's great. No issues with that whatsoever. I would highly recommend picking one up if you're looking to be able to control your garage door opener. If you've made it this far, I'd like to thank you for watching. Without viewers like you, this channel wouldn't be possible. I hope that you enjoyed today's video and that I accomplished my goal of teaching you all about the Tempest Weather Station. There's links to everything in the description that I mentioned in today's video, including the funny t-shirt I'm wearing. As always, I look forward to seeing all your smiling faces in the next video, and until then, go automate something, will ya?